Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tabletop Bob. My name is Bob. I'll be your Dungeon Master for tonight. We have the landmark episode 20 of Curse of Strahd.
Whoa.
20 episodes. Wow.
One
more
will
episode.
roll 20s. All
20.
night.
And now you've jinxed it.
Yikes.
Ones.
Nat ones.
Only ones.
Next week, which will be our 21st episode, the episode is of legal drinking age. So,
Which
what are you
is
drinking
not
tonight?
why we're late.
Which is not why we're late. No.
We're not late because we
I don't
were
know
all
what that
out
was.
drinking.
What is that in the chat? You said? Somebody said
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
Spreading these rumors. Come on now. If anything though, I need to drink some more water because I'm all of a sudden allergies I think are coming in full swing here. It's hot. It's like gross during the spring normally, but like this is bad. The pollen levels, ragweed. It's bad.
Ragweed is out.
Yeah, it's not good. But I'm trying to flush this all out. Drink some water. I took my allergy medicine, and I'm ready to go. Does anybody else have allergies? Seasonal allergies here?
I
Mhm.
do.
It's Zyrtec season for me.
Stefano, you too?
I've been okay. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's not, but I'm okay this year so far.
So isn't that weird though? It feels like everybody I know is like they have seasonal allergies. Like I feel like nobody had allergies when I was younger. Maybe I just didn't notice. Or is it your
Possible.
body? Is it your body gets worse as you
I
get
feel
older?
like my body's gotten worse as I've gotten older. I remember being a kid being like, I don't have allergies, I'm invincible, and now I'm like, oh
Yeah,
god,
and I used to laugh at all the people. You have allergies.
now it's tough. It's
And then
not
I was
real.
like, oh.
Yeah, I feel like it just, I don't know. Last couple of years, so much allergies. I feel like a lot of kids have allergies with things, but that's like, I don't know, allergic to peanuts and stuff like that. But other allergies, what do you got? Any allergies? So we know if we had to send an assassin to kill you, what could we do? Andrew, you go first.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Andrew, we need to know what the assassin would do for you.
The only thing I'm allergic to is hay, grass. But I am allergic, so my guinea pig, I feed him alfalfa hay rather than Timothy hay, which makes him a little fat because it's got more protein in it, but I'm not allergic to it.
You have a guinea pig?
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Spike,
Spike.
obviously.
Is he spiky? Is he have like? He's not a hedgehog.
He has like a spiked, tough hair here like this.
Nice, classic. So hay, no good for you. Horses. Forget about
Oh.
horses, right?
Right.
Wait, but guinea pigs, don't they primarily eat hay?
Yeah,
That's
but
what he.
I'm allergic to like classical grass, like Timothy hay, especially is the worst. So you can buy alfalfa, which is a different type of dried plant.
Ooh.
Has a little bit more protein in it than hay and a little less fiber. So it's like a treat hay, but he gets it all the time because otherwise every time I clean him out, I'm like snotty everywhere.
Good for the guinea pig, bad for you, right? Actually, good for
Right.
everybody. Good for everybody.
Good for everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Spike
this
doesn't
the,
matter.
Win-win.
Is this the icebreaker?
This is the icebreaker. What about you, Tim? What are you allergic to?
I got none. I just have like my regular seasonal allergies, but as far as I know, I'm not allergic to anything else. I'm invincible to your assassin, Bob.
Interesting. What about you, Stefano?
What?
Any
Sorry?
allergies?
Oh, no, not really. It's just sometimes like I get the seasonal allergies, but it's really it's
Hmm,
not
lucky
every
you.
year. I know people that get it bad every year, so I'm glad not to be one of those.
Fair enough. Michelle?
Yeah, I get the seasonal allergies, but I'm also allergic to cats, and I am lactose intolerant. So, any assassins out there, I invite you to feed me dairy-filled pastries and cover me in kittens.
Cats, we'll feed you cat's milk.
Oh,
The
I don't know if
ultimate,
I like that one.
the ultimate venom for Michelle.
Well,
Oh,
like, what's up with everyone being allergic to like nuts these days? You know,
It's a big
that
thing
that
now.
never happened. Like when I
It's
was a
nuts.
kid, nobody was allergic to nuts.
I can't tell you
Now
how
all
many
of a
times
sudden,
I brought PB&J to school. Like all the time.
I feel
Um,
like all you had to do was just like play around in the dirt as a kid, and you get less sick.
yeah. I feel like I don't have too many quote unquote allergies. I do have the seasonal allergies, but like Michelle, I'm maybe it's not diagnosed, but I am certainly sure that dairy is not good for me. Like
Hmm.
99% sure. I should not be eating dairy. Will that stop me? Absolutely not. You know,
I mean, pizza.
yeah. Well, you know,
What
I
are you
feel
gonna
like
do?
it's.
Stop eating pizza?
I don't think so. I'm not going to. You know, I think it's more. I feel like it's cream, like cream-based things, like pastas, or forget about Alfredo. Like I don't think I can ever have Alfredo again. It's just not possible. So, rest in peace. But either way, I mean, I feel like generally speaking, I didn't have allergies growing up. Definitely not peanuts or things like that. But I think as your body gets older, and let us know out there if you're getting up there in age, did this change? Did things you used to eat change?
You can also grow out of allergies.
Can you? Well, why
My
haven't
kid,
I
my,
grown out of these? Please.
my kid used to be allergic to Entenmann's. You know that funny
Oh, I
that
know
brand,
Entenmann's.
but now he's not anymore. But
Wow.
he used
Just
to come out in a
Entenmann's?
rash. Yeah,
that's such
eat
a
eat Entenmann's anything, come out in a rash. I'd advise
Wait.
people not to eat Entenmann's. I have to say, because
that's
The
such a
stream
it
very
was
is.
it was very
specific thing.
disturbing.
It's all right. You
That's
could do
so
better than
oddly
Entenmann's.
specific. What does
Yeah.
Entenmann's have in it that makes your son ill?
I was trying to read the ingredients and figure it out. I think it's some kind of preservative. I can never really figure it out.
Well,
Wild.
we still want Entenmann's to support the channel. So if you want to be a sponsor, Entenmann's, don't let Andrew discourage you. We will allow it. Just send us some Entenmann's. Don't send them to Andrew, but send them to us. We'll be fine.
Yes,
We need like an
please.
Entenmann's paid promotion.
Yeah. I can see it right now. And a word from our sponsors. Brought to you by Entenmann's, Curse of Strahd.
No
Tabletop Op.
preservatives.
Strahd doesn't
Strahd.
need preservatives. Neither does Entenmann's.
Our baked goods last as long as another vampire.
That's a good one.
they are,
Oh,
they are
man.
not. They are unbaked.
Entenmann's, we are the land. We are the ancient. Sponsor
We
us.
we are undead.
We are undead. Sponsor us, please. Okay, so welcome back. Michelle, how's it going? It's been 2 episodes since you've been with us. So I just want to touch on a little bit about, your character and where you've been in the recap. But I think as we discussed today, we're probably going to just kind of role play a little bit and get you back into the game. But Dione left the group last time when the group was entering the coffin maker shop, Henrik Vandervoort. And now, you can tell us what was going through Dione's mind, but Dione decided it would be best to tell the group a bit of a lie. That you were going to take Irina back and take her away from here. No sense in having her waiting on the street as a hideout in plain sight. And you get her back to the house, maybe come back, but then you left. So do you want to tell us a little about what was going through Dione's mind as you saw the group entering into the coffin maker shop?
Sure. I guess in that moment, well, I don't want to reveal too much spoilers.
Right.
But in that moment, I would say that Dione kind of looked at the building, assessed the situation. The first room is just like clearly nothing happening, a bunch of empty coffins. So Dione was like, all right, this building is no big deal. They're safe here. I don't need to worry about my party's safety. However, I do have other things that I'm thinking about, and I want to kind of address those things. How can I phrase this? I guess Dione was looking for her own safety. And so Dione determined that the party's fine. Little did she know, 6 vampires upstairs, no big deal. But she didn't know that. So she was like, it's fine. I'm going to leave them and go do what I have to do.
And
Sorry,
you
guys.
did. You easily evaded Irina. She wasn't really looking for you. So you slipped in through one of the alleyways and started heading to the west. Now, the rest of the recap is going to be... Michelle did watch the episode, so we're not going to go too heavy into recapping everything because you don't need it. But for the viewers here, last episode we'll definitely touch on. Because last episode, after the vampires attacked at Henrik Vandervoort's, the group ended up going to St. Angel's Church. You were able to talk to Father Lucian. You were able to put the bones back into their rightful place. Everything was going well, except the group ended up still not really figuring out what happened to the bones. Like, why they were there, who Henrik Vandervoort was, what they had to do with this whole thing, and why Milovage was attached to it. So that was kind of like the questioning for the most part. I think you decided to talk mostly as a group afterwards, but you got the bones back to Father Lucian. He's still unsure about what happened, but he's thrilled the bones are back, all in time for the feast, which is tomorrow night. And then you ended up going home and talking with Irina, talking with Camilla, and deciding that after the feast and everything, all the festivities the next day, it might be good to try to plea with the Baron, maybe get him as an ally, get his, or at least his money and his power on your side so that you can get the right supplies. Because really, especially Rufus, I mean, you came here with nothing. The rest of the group could use, weapons, armor, supplies, resources, and an ally. So perhaps having him sort of, give you the payroll so that you can go to the Amber Temple. You could maybe figure out what's going on here in Barovia and stop Strahd once and for all. Your secrets, which we should really touch on actually, because we haven't really talked about your the tarot card reading, the Tarot deck. We should probably revisit those at some point. Maybe someone has them in their notes. I mean, I could read them too, but one of those were to go to a place where there were amber giants. And so when, obviously, what's his name? Casimir. When Casimir said that he knew a place, the Amber Temple, this kind of prompted everybody to say, oh, we need to go there because that's where one of our Tarot cards had stated we'd find something to defeat Strahd. So that's where...
I got it.
You have it?
Yeah, it was the Elementalist card that I drew. It tells of history how to better defeat the enemy. Treasure hidden in a small castle guarded by amber giants.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the one.
So that was something that drew you right to Casimir and what he was suggesting, because I mean, this kind of seems right in line. He could be your fated ally. This could be a secret to uncovering the mystery of Strahd, and I think that was where the group's going to be headed. Irina obviously wants this place to maybe be a place that she can live in for the future. Whether that includes the rest of you or Rufus or, dare I say, Vasily in this conversation.
Yeah, or we might just have a adventuring party of the 4 of us: Casimir, Camilla, Anna, Irina, Micah, and Vasily von Holtz.
And freaking Myrtle while we're at it.
The gang's all here.
Yeah, Freak and Myrtle. If you want to check the children's guide, which I have updated, it is down below in the description. You can go to the drive where I've kept it. You can see all the kids that are in the campaign, where they are currently, what was the last sort of the thing we talked about with them. That's all down in the description. Check the description from time to time. It has some new things there every so often. All right, that was mostly it, but can't forget the last part here. Tim, you ended up trying to scale the Baron's house the night before. That was fun.
Yeah.
The Baron and his 2 dogs came out and tried to figure out who was climbing on their house. You ended up escaping with just some minor flesh wounds. Then you had a run-in with the Blue Water. And so many names in this town. I got to remember the Blue Water. And Erwin and Danica, they gave you a little tour of Rictavio's room, and you found a journal entry talking about all different sorts of people that he's met on his travels, different, almost like circus members. Then you finally got to the Baron's house in the late morning, where you started to talk to the Baron because you wanted to get him as an ally. Rufus and Irina made formal introductions in the parlor. Meanwhile, Laurent and Canas and Yune headed upstairs because there were some strange lights that you saw flashing previous night, and some people say they've seen it too. What's going on up there in the attic of the Baron? So you headed upstairs, and you found the attic way. Oh yeah, and you saw your good friend Izek Stranzi. He came back. He looked like he was in quite a bit of a rush. He barged into his own room, looks like, and closed it behind him. Then you entered the attic area, where you saw this is a pretty big attic storage area, large attic area, but there was a door to one end. And on the door, someone carved a large skull into it. Hanging from the doorknob was a sign that said, "All is not well," in all caps. And you heard some young man's voice from behind the door. So that's the recap. I think we are ready to jump back into it. Did I miss anything? How'd I do?
Pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It
And
seems alright, yeah.
we also we're really close to 3,000 subscribers. So do me a favor, everybody, like this video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, I updated the Patreon scroll at the end, so when you see your name at the end, it'll be scrolling. It looks pretty nice. I did a little update to Patreon, some cleaning up and things like that. So take a look at the end of the episode. All right,
Nasty.
here we go. Grayscale time. And it's coming. It'll be here sooner than we think.
Boy.
Look at that. Feels like
Oh.
home.
Oh, wow.
We
That's
are
it.
home. That's a quality you get here. All right. Let's start with Dione.
It is I. Hello.
Ah, good to have you back. My accent didn't cut it.
It is okay. We have Dione at home.
I was the Dione at home. So, it's nighttime, dark. You look up, you see the near full moon in the sky. It just looms over there. It's a clear night. Not a cloud in sight. As you start to move between the homes, you get to the main street. You start to depart away from the group, head towards the west. You're going to take the route that probably goes south rather than going through the main part of town. Less people there.
For sure.
You finally get to the west gate after walking for about 10 or 15 minutes. You pass St. Andrew's. You see it in the distance. It looks like there's people there, actually. You knew that they were having their their night before the feast vigil. So it looks like whatever sermon is going on, Father Lucian's got a captivated audience.
Just in case, though, I make sure to stay as stealthy as possible in case anyone happens to be looking my way. I don't want to be seen at all.
Sure. You can give me a stealth check if you like.
Sure. Boop. All right, cool. So that's a dirty 20.
Nice. Using the cover of night and your small frame, you easily hide in the shadows as you maneuver from house to house. Finally, you get to the west gate. You can see there are guards positioned both on the bottom level and some up top on the wall. How do you approach?
Is there any way I could get past them without them seeing me? Does it look like it's at all possible?
It might be possible, but you need some sort of like rope or grappling hook, maybe to go up on part of the ledge.
Oh, I have a rope and grappling hook.
Okay.
All right.
So give me
Yeah.
two checks here. First, give me an athletics check to see if you can use the rope and hit it onto something, and then perhaps a stealth check afterwards to try to do it quietly and maybe go unnoticed.
All right. So so we got a 24 on athletics, 18
Sweet.
on stealth.
Heck yeah.
So
Heck
pulling
yeah.
along.
So you throw the hook up. You land on top of the wall. You start to climb. You get up there and you see some guards. They're talking and they say something along the lines of, man, look at that. Moonlight's bright tonight. Two guards just having their own conversation up top. And one guard says to him, yeah, it's pretty clear. He says, see down there? Goes, going to the feast tomorrow? The other guard says, oh, definitely. I'll definitely be at the feast. But you hear the Baron, he might be making all of us perform extra duty. Being on call at the Blazing Sun and then be working afterwards. And he's like, yeah, I was hoping we wouldn't have to do that. I told the whole family we're going to the church. But yeah, seems to make sense. And then all of a sudden you hear a blood-curdling scream cry out in the night.
From what direction?
The direction you came. The guards are alarmed. You're right now, like maybe at the halfway up, maybe you're right at the top of that rampart. Like you're just about to like peer over, but you're still climbing slowly up. And the guards grab their weapons and they say, "Oh, quick, go get help. Seems like there's some trouble." And you hear it's loud, Dione. It's like it's a scream like you haven't heard before. It's something you can feel evil in its cry, in its shrill cry. You look back, I mean, you don't see anything because it's, it's obscured, but you get 100% sense that this is from your direction. In fact, you can give me a check with advantage if you'd like for perception.
Sure. Alright, I'm just going to roll that twice. All right. With advantage, it's a 19.
You can make out the sounds more. It sounds like almost like a female's shrill cry, but there's, like I said, there's something sinister to it. What do you do?
Well, okay, first of all, while the guards like run past, I'm just gonna hang like right off of the edge of the wall so that like if somebody were to look at the wall, I'm not like a massive silhouette or small. I'm not a silhouette kind of out of line with the rest of the wall. I'm just like fingertips and my body's hanging down. So I look over my shoulder and I like hear this blood curdling eerie scream and like definitely like my hackles raise and I feel uneasy. But I do have a mission that I need to attend to. So I'm going to stay focused on that. And I'm just going to hope that my, dare I say, friends, I'm going to hope that they're okay. And I've seen them fight before. I know they can handle themselves. So once the guards are distracted adequately, I'm going to just quickly hop over, scale the wall, and land quietly on the other side.
Sure. You hop over, and again, you're standing on the top of the wall now. You can see the guards who have descended. They went down. There's a little stairwell or ladder that leads down. They go and they start to run towards the scene of the scream. And you watch them go, and you see there's definitely some alarm in the streets. There's anybody that was still out is now looking back towards that way. You can see like the houses and the road kind of bends and turns out of sight. They start to run that way too. And you turn and you look like you're about to climb over, but then a hand reaches out at you. This hand is not a regular hand. It's almost like purplish red, and it's almost got like scales all over it. It grabs you by the collar of your shirt. It's Izek.
Hello. Funny seeing you here.
Going somewhere?
Yes, I just needed some air. I was going for just a walk. Is this not allowed?
You don't have your wizard friend to help you this time.
I don't need help. I'm not doing anything strange. Just going for a walk.
He takes out something from his pack with his other hand, and you can see he grabs this piece of parchment. He holds it up to your face. It's a poorly drawn sketch of you. It almost looks like a round circle with another circle on top for a head. He says,
I
"Does
see.
this not
Oh,
resemble you?"
No, this. I think I know what this is. Have you heard the term snowman? Have you heard this before? I think this is one of those.
And so what he's going to do is, Michelle, you can feel his hand on your like shoulder, like kind of grabbing you by the back of your neck, and it heats up. You feel like an intense heat come from it, and it starts to burn. What do you do?
Oh, well, I guess I involuntarily writhe. I'm gonna try to get away. Like if it's painful,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, I would try to get away.
Give me an
Please
athletics
stop.
check or acrobatics check, whatever's better.
Athletics. Oh, okay. A 26.
Nice. Awesome. You escape from him, and you finally get to run. You're running, maybe about to jump over the rampart here.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing you see is you can see this like almost like a fire roaring in his hand. It's not like a produced flame or things you might have been familiar with. It looks like a sinister demonic flame. And the flame launches like a spout of fire at you. It catches onto your cloak. You spin around, try to do your best, but you lose your balance and you fall down from the rampart. And you black out as you hit the ground.
Wow. All right. I'm back.
Welcome back, Michelle.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Kind of back.
Yeah.
Canas and Laurent, the two of you are in the attic of the Baron's mansion. Of course, this is the next day. The same day that you played in, but not for Michelle's part. You hear the man's voice from beyond. It's mumbly. If you were to press your ear to it, you might be able to get more. What do you
I'll
do?
do that.
Give me a perception
We'll
check.
both do it.
Yeah, one on top of the other, Scooby-Doo style.
2 perception checks.
Oh boy,
I got a 14.
I got a 12.
You both can hear, it looks like, or sounds like, whoever is behind there is trying to pronounce some sort of spell. Give me an Arcana check to see if you can recognize it.
Definitely not my best. Oh, 17.
I also got a 17.
Wow, look at that.
Buddies, look at you. 17 buddies. The spell that the person is trying to cast has to do something with teleportation. Perhaps the spell teleportation itself, you may not be familiar with it, but you know that that's the intention of it.
Weird. I'm
Laurent,
gonna
should
look
we
at. Yeah.
should we enter?
I
I
don't-
think I'm not sure either. It could cause a
yeah.
problem.
I don't think I don't trust magic that much, and I certainly don't know enough to interrupt it. That could not go well for us, I feel.
So what do you do?
Would we would is teleportation indicative of like a strong magic user, or is it just like a not quite run of the mill, but like
Certainly.
it is a strong magic user?
It's not a level 1 spell. Most of teleportation spells are higher level.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're really high level usually. Okay, yeah, definitely. I don't feel confident going in there to mess with whoever's teleporting things. But if we came back with backup,
I'm certainly worried about if whoever's back there attacks us.
can
But
you
we
then
did-
go through the door?
We did come here to find out what was behind those purple lights. I think Yune could. In fact, I'm gonna talk to Yune right now. Yune. Invisible, right?
Of course, Canas.
Yune, I would like you to transform into a rat. Keep yourself hidden, but crawl underneath the door and tell us what you can see. Don't go too far, but let us know what's behind there.
Understood. And
Yune will turn into a rat. This transformation takes just a few moments, but once Yune goes into rat form, she plops down to the ground and scurries about and gets under the door with ease. I just have to make sure that this is allowed.
Can I actually? Yune could also turn into a spider. That might even be better.
Ooh, subtler.
Ooh. I gotta be honest with you, I think she turned into the rat.
Well, I just looked it up.
And she did it. She went under the door.
Fine.
Trust me, this will be better. This will be better.
I feel like that means worse. Better for who?
No, this is gonna be great. I just have to read one thing before I continue here. Okay. All right. So I think all will be well.
Past the door that says "all is not well."
All is in fact not well.
You communicate with Yune, and Yune says in her telepathic voice,
okay, I'm in. It's oh, there's someone here. Yeah, there's a boy. He doesn't look too old. Actually, wait. There's 3 kids. 3 kids in here. More children. Yay.
Oh no. And do they look like they're conjuring some sort of spell?
It looks like one of them is trying to read from a book, but the other 2 are just standing there real still.
Laurent, there are more children behind this door. I think we need to enter. One of them appears to be the caster, the other 2 are standing still.
No, it can't be. No, the horror. Why?
What, Yune, what is it? Also, don't go too far into that room.
Canas, it's chasing me.
Get back. Come back under the door.
I'm trying, but it's fast. Help me, Canas, help me.
Can we hear any noise from the far side of the door?
Laurent, I'm going in. I open the door.
Okay, we're going in.
By the way, because of my investment of the Chainmaster, it does say that my familiar, regardless of what form, gains a flying speed a flying speed of 40 feet.
Gotcha.
No wonder the kids are freaking out. There's a flying rat in the room.
You open the door.
Well, but Yune should be invisible in rat form. I'm assuming this guy can maybe see through invisibility.
You open the door, and the skull that was carved onto the door begins to glow. And we're gonna go to Rufus and
crap.
Irina.
I hate it here.
Oh, this is the best. Rufus, you're sitting in the parlor with your new friend, the Baron, and Irina. Irina's been chatting him up, talking about her family and life in the village of Barovia. You've been staring at that bear's head that's mounted on the wall. It was a gift from Zoldar to the Baron, who knows how many years ago. But the Baron has been quietly listening. In fact, rather quiet the entire time. You can see he's taking everything in. He's been looking at you, looking at Irina, and really observing the two of you. And Irina finishes up part of her conversation. She's like, and the Gwaindire, Rufus, I think it's going to be fantastic. Perhaps one day we'll travel there together. Don't you agree?
Oh yes, definitely. Have I already told the Baron about the Gwaindire?
You mentioned the Gwaindire at the beginning, so this is like the end of the Gwaindire conversation. Or maybe just the beginning, who knows?
So I say, Baron, would you like to hear about the Gwaindire?
Yes, I've heard quite a bit about this place, and I think I would like to move on from this conversation. We have more pressing matters to discuss.
Oh, yes.
But I do want to hear about it another time.
Well, certainly.
We have the Festival of the Blazing Sun today. I assume you'll be in attendance.
Oh, yes, we're most excited. And the Feast of St. Andrews.
I may or may not be at the feast. It depends how tired I am at the end of it.
Okay, well, what about the festival?
My wife, Lydia, she mentioned that some people from a far land came. That would be you all.
us. Ah, yes, a fine woman, your wife.
Yes, she said that you had an interest in Vallaki and you wanted to perhaps meet me at some point. What took you so long?
Well, we thought we would see you in the street. Everyone seems to see you all the time. But we've never actually seen you. So we thought we'd have to come here and talk to you in person.
You see, when you're an important man like me, your days are planned out for you. Always out on the street, always on the go. Never a chance to rest.
Well,
I
yes,
do
of
it.
course, that is a lot of nobility to serve the lower classes.
Ah, you understand very well, actually, I can tell.
Well, yes,
understand
I
very
was.
well.
Rupert and I, we were the heirs to the Gwaindire.
Then you must also understand the immense pressure that comes onto one of our stature.
Well, yes, of course, but one must remember that that pressure comes from privilege. We are privileged to serve the lower classes, and the price we pay is the pressure.
Then you'll also understand that it's important for keeping order here in Vallaki that everyone buys into the fact that we keep the devil out. Heroes from another land, you may claim it is of the work of gods or warriors, but it's really hope. Hope that keeps the devil out of this land.
Well, okay, yes, that sounds good to me.
I've heard from some people that you perhaps don't get along with everybody here in town. You have some
Why?
other associates. You've made friends with some of the Dusk Elves. Is this true?
Oh, yes. Yes, we've met the Dusk Elves, but they're not in the town. They're outside the town.
Well, they're not welcome here, typically.
Well, we went to the Wizards of the Wine with them, and I'll tell them about the Wizards from the Wine. And the Wizards from the Wine, they're having some problems producing the wine, you see.
You explain him like the whole detail with the
Yep.
gems and everything?
I don't get into the gems, I just say it.
Mm-hmm.
They're having some problems.
Are you friends with a smaller, shorter, dwarven woman?
Dione?
That's her name, yes, Dione.
Yeah. Ah, yeah, she's part of our group, the Grayscale Gang.
Interesting.
A fine dwarf.
Not sure if you know this, but she may have some secrets she's kept from you.
Oh, I think we're aware of her secrets.
Really?
I think that destiny brought us together so we could help her.
And yet you still associate with someone who would steal orphans from the orphanage.
Steal orphans? Tell me more about this.
And he'll go on and explain that Madame Vermeer from the orphanage has given him some feedback. She called in Ezek. She explains the whole thing.
Ah, yes. I heard about this. Dione said that they went into the orphanage and they came across a room where the children were being hurt and tortured. There were devil-like signals.
Impossible.
It's under the shed. You should send your best men to investigate.
I've already done that.
In the
I've
shed?
Yes, I've sent
underground.
Ezek, and his men scoured the place.
But did they look in the shed under the piles of refuge? There's a trap door, so I'm told.
He says, it has been handled.
Oh, what happened?
Nothing. The orphanage is in tip-top shape.
Do you think that the lady there, Madame Fromere, I believe, should be replaced?
She's done the best job keeping those orphans in line. I
But
wouldn't
what
dare
about-
think about removing her from her position.
What about the whole torturing the children aspect of her position?
It's unfounded. There's no evidence of this.
Your man, Isaac, he has a rather interesting hand.
Irina
Perhaps-
will say, well, the tea is lovely. I think we're getting off track, actually. We came here for a purpose, you see, Baron Velakovich.
Yes. After the festival, we wish to leave and further explore the land, perhaps spread goodness. We thought you might
Yes.
want to sponsor our little enterprise if you have any. If you have any armor, I only have this poor quality scale armor.
He does
And then
look down at your armor. He is disgusted by it.
Yes, when I was brought here by Strahd, I had none. I had to get this from the
He says,
Vistani. This
the
is
devil.
Vistani armor.
We will not use that name here.
What name is that?
And she looks at you and she whispers, Irina whispers, I think he means Strahd.
Oh, yes. Well, we plan to fight him.
You see, he's not from here, and him and his associates are learning the ways of the land, and we do not use his name. We say the devil. I apologize. And all this is not for just us to go and spread goodwill. It's to promote the goodwill that Velaki has done, and perhaps bring what powerful message you have here to others, like Kresk or even back to the village. And I, for one, am looking perhaps to find a new home. Maybe this could be my future. And she looks at Rufus, a little uneasy, but then looks back to the Baron. Says, I've taken quite a liking to Velaki. Growing up in the village, it's been always a stark difference, but I think this could be a place for me, a home. One that maybe now that my father is passed, that I could fit in here. And the Baron says, well, he raises his eyebrow and he's like, so the rumors are true. The Burgomeister is dead. And she says, yes. And you won't be going back to the village. No. Well then, perhaps we could work on some sort of goodwill here, but I don't know if we should be working with some associates like Dione. Well, rumor is that she's left town, so... And this
She's
probably is shocking to you, Andrew, because...
Yeah, I am shocked.
Yeah.
Left town? How would you know that?
Guards reported that somebody snuck over the rampart last night, matching
And
the
in-
description of your friend.
And inside I'm thinking she snuck off because it's going to be a full moon.
Correct.
Well, then we don't have to worry about her for the time being.
He stands up, takes one more sip of his wine, and he'll walk over to you and say, then perhaps we could have a partnership, now that that one is out of the picture. And he reaches out a hand to extend to you. You notice he's got, like, really long, dirty fingernails. Really irks you.
Oh, okay, I'll shake his hand anyway.
Okay. He'll shake your hand.
Is it a weak grip?
Like a wet fish, remember I told you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a wet, nasty fish. Clammy.
Can I do
Dione.
divine sense?
Did you? No. But I think this would be odd in this moment because it's not just like a passive thing. Like you have to concentrate on it a bit. It would look like you're maybe praying or something.
Okay, I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
I'll do it in a bit.
Dione. Water splashes onto your face. You wake up.
What do I see when I open my eyes?
Well, you've got like a reddish, like you could notice like your skin is tight and like a burn, like a maybe not the worst burn mark. It'll heal, but you can see that your skin has been singed around where
Ugh.
Ezek was grabbing you and where the flames hit you.
Oh, terrible. Does anybody have some aloe vera by any chance?
You reach
Oh,
up to your face to
terrible.
touch it like you're doing here in the screen, but you're unable to. You hear shh as chains of manacles prevent you from doing so.
I'm gonna test the chains. Do they seem
Oh.
strong if I yank on them? I'm gonna give them a really good yank.
They're strong. Somebody is there with you though too. So remember, somebody splashed water on your face. You're not alone. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I go, not bad. As I look at the chains, I'm like, maybe this isn't the worst thing in the world. And then and then and then I realize that somebody splashed water on my face. I go,
Yeah. The demonic-looking hand of Ezek will lower the bucket, and he'll kneel
you
down
again.
over your body. You are shackled to the wall in a what looks like a stone, like dungeon, essentially. It's pitch black, so except for the fact that he's carrying like a candle or something like that, a small little personal light, and he looks at you, holds up the candle, and says, "I've left my mark on you. Excellent."
You may have left some sort of mark on my physical form, but you will never break my spirit.
He says, "We'll see about that. It'll be up to the Baron to decide your fate."
My friends will come and get me, I am sure. You have
You're-
nothing on us.
Your friends won't get within a mile of here.
Oh yeah, okay. We shall see. We shall see.
Tell me, why did you steal the orphan, and where is she now?
I don't know if steal is the correct word. I would use the word rescue, actually. And I don't know where she is now. Children, they run around. I have no idea where she went.
This is partly a lie. Give me a deception check. You do
Sure.
know that they are at your house, although, to be honest, when and where this is, you don't know.
Right. And technically, I don't know where the house is relative to my current location.
Right, exactly. But you
Yeah.
you do know that they were at the house. You could probably describe the house as where you
Okay,
last
so
saw
it's
them.
a 12. Not very strong roll.
Yeah. And he says, as he puts fire into his hand, like you can see like the flames start to just instantaneously begin in the palm. And he says, "Have you ever been given a gift?"
Actually, not many, but perhaps one or two.
Any of these gifts, do you ever think they were a curse?
I suppose it all depends on your perspective.
He says, "That's what I thought at first. A curse." And then he'll close his hand, the flame goes away. And he says, "But I've realized something. The power that I've been given makes me a god amongst men."
If you see yourself as a god, perhaps you are not worthy of the power.
He smiles at that, chuckles a bit, and he'll take out his battle axe that he has here, and he says, "If I wanted to, I could end your life in seconds."
Honestly, I think that would not be the worst thing. Go ahead. But then if you do that, there will be nothing else to gain from me.
He'll put away his axe and say, he says, "Well, at least you're smart." He says, but I bet you're friends. Yes, I know who you hang with. That Vistani. I'll find him tomorrow. We'll see if he is as brave as you are.
I think my friends may surprise you. They surprised me, certainly.
He's going to do one more last attempt at intimidating you, and he'll grab you again by the throat and kind of, this time, instead of it being more aggressive, he'll like kind of, with his ugly, demonic hand, kind of caress your jawline.
Well, I appreciate your overtures, but honestly, I am not interested. But thank you. You can go now.
He looks like he's studying like the features of your face, and he says, "We shall see." And he turns about, walks out of the room, closes the door, but opens the door, and as he does, you can see it looks like it's a stairwell that leads directly up, like almost directly. It's a small room, and when the light peers in, you can see that there are other people chained to the walls in this chamber.
Okay, so they're like not
right next to
in
you.
the same chamber as me?
Correct.
Or...
It's one big room. It's like a big basement room, like a dungeon room. And there are at least 2 or 3 other mounds of people, like a body lying on the floor at various points in the room. When he opens the door and the light peers in for that second or two, you can catch a glimpse of those bodies.
Is there any sign of movement at all? Or are they completely lifeless?
They are lifeless. Perhaps sleeping, perhaps dead.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay.
Canas, Laurent, you open the door, and that skull begins to glow. You realize what this is. Foolish it was to do, but, well, Yune's life was maybe in danger. I need both of you to give me, let's see, it's against dexterity check. Saving throw, excuse me. I will double check here. Yeah, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Natural 1, baby.
What did I? Oh, that's you. Okay, well, I rolled it twice apparently, so I got a 12.
Okay, both of you take 31 lightning damage as electricity crackles through the air.
I'm down.
Oh, no.
There you go. What about you, Laurent?
I'm hurt a lot. I don't feel good. Feel terrible, in fact.
I forgot my inspiring speech.
31 lightning damage. Your friend Canas goes down. The crackling energy dissipates as the door swings open. You look out and you see the sight here. In the center of the room, perched on a stool, is a thin young man with a premature streak of gray in his dark hair. He cradles an open, leather-bound book in his arms. He looks up at you, shocked. You can see that there are actually other creatures here. There are 2 other small children standing with their backs facing you in the northeast corner of the room. You can see tables strewn about, pieces of parchment on which strange diagrams are drawn. Freestanding bookshelf holds a collection of bones, and a dusty rug covers the floor in front of a pine box which lounges what has a spectral cat on top of it. It looks like it is like a skeletal cat, and it's moving around, bounding about, chasing after Yune.
No, the horror. Please, why'd it have to be a rat?
Can the cat see an invisible creature?
It seems to know.
It seems to know where Yune is.
Damn it.
The cat
seems
itself
to follow
especially
me.
might be,
It seems to know where I am at all times. I can't escape it. Canas, help. Of course.
Of course,
I
this is
very
all
quickly-
telepathic, so Canas is unconscious. You don't
Yeah.
hear.
Can I immediately just cast a cure wounds on Canas because
Sure.
I can't do this alone.
Sure.
Great. I'm gonna just lean down quickly and cast a cure wounds to pump exactly 16 healing into Canas.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Canas,
That's the
you wake up.
highest level healing I have, so please
wow.
make it count.
Canas, you wake up to this voice in your head.
Ah! Canas! Help! Scaring me.
Do I see the spectral cat chasing
Yeah.
after you?
Yeah.
Unite, stay invisible, but turn back into an imp.
She turns back into an imp, and now, even though she can fly, she definitely didn't realize she could as a rat, so she flies up as an imp, and the spectral cat hisses at the now devilish figure it seems to be able to perceive.
Can I heal Laurent?
You could, but before you do that, the boy who was standing on the stool jumps down, and you can see he's got his hand up, and he's got like it in a ready position. He says, "Not another step."
Palms up.
Yeah,
Didn't
that's
mean to
right.
interrupt whatever you were doing here, kiddo.
You too, there on the floor, hands up.
Very well.
Yeah. You like that? You like that power? I got more of that where it comes from.
Looks like it's doing wonders for you. You have such a healthy complexion.
He's very pale. He's he's very pale. He looks like he hasn't really seen the light of day in a long time.
He's got
And
gray hair already. He's 12 years old.
he's got the
He's
gray
Scottish.
streak. Yeah. He says to you both, he says, "What are you doing up here in my room? My work
We had-
room."
Just seen some lights, and we're really just curious. What are you
Curious?
what are you doing up here? You know?
Wouldn't you like to know?
And why does the door say all is not well?
Because it's not well.
Well, what's wrong? Maybe we can make it better for you.
You can't do anything. You're powerless.
What do you need so much power for? What why are you locked up here alone? What are these kids doing? I've got 100 questions. Like, is this what's going on here?
I kind of want to show you the picture of him, but I can't do it right now. I think
No,
there's
it's
a picture
okay.
of him. But the two children, you notice they're standing and facing the corner of the room. They haven't moved.
Yeah, that's bad, but I'm not willing
Yeah.
to do anything about that yet.
He says, "Shove all your questions. I'll answer none of them. You'll answer mine. Who are you? State your names."
I'm Laurent LeMaire, and you may or may not have heard that we've been in town for a couple days helping people out.
I could care less.
I am Canas. You want to know my name? I told you.
Well, Canas, what kind of a name is that? And Laurent. I am Victor, the Baronet.
I'm sorry, the what?
The Baronet. He's the Baron's son.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Oh.
is that a thing? Okay, Baroness, Baron's son.
Victor Velakovich.
Oh, you're a smart one.
With a K, I assume.
How else would it be spelled?
Oh, who knows? Well, Victor, it seems like you are working on some interesting things here in this room.
Yes, I am, and none of it's of your business.
Oh, that's fine. You know, we don't even need to know at all. We're not interested.
Good. Now, why don't I kill you both? Tell me why I shouldn't do that.
Well, that I don't
You're
think that
looking-
would be very good.
He like
Yeah.
uses the book almost like if in equivalence of like a guy with like a loaded gun. He's like holding. He's like, yeah, shoving it like further and closer to you as he approaches.
Well, you might be deemed a murderer if you kill us both.
I'll get away with it. I have in the past.
As with these 2 children over here?
He looks over to the still moving, non-moving children. And he says, they're nothing. He goes over to them and he turns them around. You can tell now these are like little wooden dolls, like about the size of like a 6 or 7-year-old. He turns them around and they're dressed in clothing that he must have wore as a child. And he says, these are my pupils. I would never harm them.
Ah, your pupils. And what are their names?
He says, this is Victor Jr. and Victor the Third.
My, you
see.
sure are clever, Victor.
George
Just
Foreman and George Foreman.
Just a hunch, Victor Jr. and Victor the Third. Does your father keep you here in the attic? Or do you prefer to be here in the attic?
Oh, I prefer it. This is my preferred location.
Ah,
I could get some peace and quiet around here for once.
Yes, peace and quiet. And who is this lovely creature? I refer to the cat.
I dug up some old skeleton cat. Practicing my spells.
Oh, well, that's very impressive.
Look, I'm going to give you the option to leave here alive. Do we understand ourselves?
Of course, of course.
Here's
Of
what you're
course.
going to do. You're going to leave here. You're never going to mention this again. If you do, and you can see like ice forming from his hand as he reached out to you, it looks like he's about to cast something and he starts mumbling words. You can give me an Arcana check if you'd like.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Nope.
Also,
No.
probably no.
Both of you don't know what spell he's casting, but you can like feel the intense cold enter the room as his spell seems to be like sucking out all the heat.
So we definitely won't tell anyone anything we saw up here.
That's right. It'll be our little secret, or else.
Before we go, Victor, is there anything we can do for you, help you out with? It's kind of our thing. We help people out.
You know, I dabble in some of the dark magics as well. Anything you would like from us? Are you sure? We might be able to help you with whatever you're trying to accomplish.
Give me your spell component pouch.
Do I have a spell component pouch?
I don't know. I don't know if warlocks do that or they have like an
I don't
item, a
think I
totem
do.
or something. But he doesn't know. He's clearly reading from a book, so he might not be a warlock.
Well, Victor, I don't have a spell component pouch. My power is bestowed on me in another fashion.
Puny powers. That's what I heard.
Oh, who'd you hear it from? Isaac?
No, that's what I gathered. Don't even understand. Don't even understand language. I'm making fun of you, you fool.
Oh,
Out of my sight now.
very
Close
well.
the door on your way out.
Just back out.
You have a lovely day.
Shut the door as we leave.
Shut it.
Well, that makes sure Yuna gets out first.
Yeah, you shut the door, and you're in the quiet of the attic.
That was
Well.
terrible.
That was really awful. I'm sorry. I was worried about Yune's life. I should have just been worried about my own.
I'm sorry, Canas.
It's all right, Yune. Next time I'll look up your stat block. 5 seconds earlier.
I'd never be becoming a rat again.
Spider it is.
Next time we have to deal with that little urchin, I have a plan.
Should I add him to the list of
Uh,
children?
This is not a kid that we are going to adopt. Let me put my foot down right now. I don't care what Rufus says. I don't care what Dione says. I definitely don't care what anyone else says. This is not a child I want in our household. We are raising a family, and it will not be like this.
Fair enough. You head downstairs.
Let me take care of some of those wounds, Laurent.
Please.
Here we go.
All right. You head downstairs. You heal each other.
I will do another one. All right, 13.
13.
Nice.
Nice.
I
Look
feel
at
a lot
this.
better.
Friends healing friends here. You head down, and you get to the area, the art gallery that you were from before. And you see 2 guards running up the stairs. They look like they're in a bit of a hurry. They walk past you. They don't really seem to be concerned. And they go over to the door of Ezek Stranzi. I think I have. Look at that. Banging on his door. And Ezek eventually opens it, and he's irritated. He looks like he's actually in the middle of like changing clothes. Like he's got no shirt on, and he's got different pants that he had on before. He looks like he's maybe getting ready for like his guard duty or something like that.
As he opens the door, can I make a point to face the other direction so he can't see my face?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And they say something to him, and he says, "What? Unbelievable. I'll be back in 2 seconds." And he starts to run down the stairs, buttoning his shirt as he goes. He closed his door, but you notice he didn't lock it.
Now, Canas, we just learned a lesson about snooping. But I take a long time to learn things.
I
Are you
do as
thinking what I'm
well.
thinking?
I want to know what that man is up to before I kill him.
Yune cannot go in there this time.
Yes, it'll have to be us.
You go to the
Let's do it,
door. There's nobody around. The hallway's relatively empty. He said he'd be right back. The guards kind of wandered off on their own different directions. They're in the hall, but they're like, just mingling about. They go past you to the top of the stairs, kind of halfway down. They're just having a normal conversation, but they're quiet, hushed to each other. The hallway's clear.
Let's I'm gonna just try the door handle really quick and hope it doesn't lightning me for 31 damage because I'll die.
It doesn't lightning you. The door does open. And you see dolls. This room is filled with pretty little dolls with powder white skin and auburn hair. Some of them dressed beautifully, others plainly. Some of the dolls fill long bookshelves, and others are arranged in neat rows on the wall-mounted shelves. Still others are piled atop a bed and a heavy wooden chest. What's most disturbing is that all the dolls, apart from their clothing, look the same. They all look like Irina Kolyana. Rufus.
Laurent, I immediately regret coming in here.
Rufus. Irina looks at you supportively and says, yes, now that Dione is gone out of the picture, I think it's time for us to refocus and double our efforts on spreading the good word of Vallaki. Don't you agree?
Well, yes, but I do think you should investigate better what was happening to the children. In the
And there's
orphanage.
time for that, Rufus. And she gives you a look. She's like, just go with it. She's like, yes, there's time for that, of course. Perhaps we show the Baron some of our goodwill and get the winery back in shape. Go and explore some of the areas and spread the word that Vallaki is doing its best to combat the devil. I think that might go a long way towards us gaining trust in the community.
Well, what do you think, Baron?
I think it's a grand idea. We'll start today by coming to the Festival of the Blazing Sun.
Well, that sounds good.
You'll get to meet the whole family. My wife,
Oh.
you know, of course, and you'll meet our
Yeah.
son, Victor.
Oh, I didn't know you had a son.
He's a lovely boy. Charming.
Oh, how old is he?
Oh, about 10. I'm not quite sure, actually. I don't remember his birthday.
Well, I'm very excited to meet him.
Yes, he is my heir. You shall meet him.
Excellent.
And he says, this way, and he'll escort you out of the room.
Oh, okay.
You see Ezek buttoning his shirt as he walks past the hallway. He's not paying any mind to you. He looks like he's headed back upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Irina actually will turn to shake the Baron's hand as he walks past. He might glance towards your direction, but he doesn't really know you, so he goes back up the stairs. You hear Ezek's voice, Canas and Laurent, as he dismisses the guards and comes back up the steps. What do you do?
Do we think we have time? Like, when we hear him, do we think we have time to get out of the room, or is it...
Yeah, you hear the
Better.
conversation happening on the stairs.
Yeah, definitely jump back
All
out
right,
of the room.
yeah, let's get out.
Okay. You get out and close the door. You start to just like whistle in the air and look up at the art. What do you do?
Oh, carefully looking at the art.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll look at Canas and say, I think the brushstrokes really don't reflect the work of a master, but I'm more of a fan of Impressionism myself.
And the pointillism on this piece is quite interesting.
He walks by you,
Pointillism.
opens the door, closes it.
I put my face really close to it. Look how different it is.
He closes the door, and you hear the locking mechanism close behind it.
Was that super freaky for you also, or is the dolls just like a me thing that freaks out?
That was the scariest thing. This is the first time I wish I was. Well, actually, it's probably like the 15th time that I wish I never came here. But it's the first time that I wish I could leave immediately.
This family and dolls, what is going on? Like, I'm not here to judge anybody, but what is going on?
Yeah, there's a lot of dolls in Vallaki. It's very weird.
Rufus, you
Also-
hear your friends talking about art and dolls at the top of the stairs as the Baron and you are all approaching.
Oh, okay. I'll call out to them. Hello, Laurent Canas.
Ah,
What's this talk of dolls?
We
Well-
were just saying that,
wait, is it just our friends that are with us right now?
The Baron's talking to Irina. He's like they're like a few steps behind.
Okay.
You'll see him come into view from the top of the stairs.
we were just saying Belinsky makes the most adorable little dolls to give to our precious little tykes.
Oh yes, is no fun, is no
No
Blinsky.
Belinsky, that's
Well,
right. Dolls, dolls for all our
Dolls, we are thinking about getting more, yes.
Well, never mind these dolls. Didn't one of them, I remember one of them looked like Irene, I remember that? That was a bit weird.
That was very
That's
weird.
so weird.
In fact, do we have a story for you later.
kids. You will
And
not
now the
believe story
Baron-
we have.
Comes into earshot and he says, these must be your associates.
Yes, this is Laurent, who's definitely not Vistani, and this is Canas.
I will bow deeply in a way that's definitely not Vistani-like.
Baron Valakovich, I presume.
Laurent is from Neverwinter.
Ah, lovely. Never heard of it. More places
thanks.
I'm not aware of.
You should travel more broadly.
And
I guess it's
Baron.
hard in this location.
He gives you a glance. Irina says, yes, once we spread the word that Vallaki is doing its best to combat the devil, perhaps other places will be in reach. But until then, we must leave. Baron, it's been an honor. She does a weird curtsy, doesn't know what to do, and she starts to turn. The front door opens, and Lydia, the Baron's wife, comes in, and she's like, oh my goodness, all of my friends. And two of the dogs bound in, these huge dogs
Oh,
bound
God.
in. One of them she calls to, she's like, Duke, Czar, come here. And they just storm in, and they go dart towards you, Laurent.
Oh, well.
Give me an animal handling check to see if you can
Okay.
calm them down.
I will try and get down low and let these dogs smell me and sniff me, and I probably smell like a 19 on animal handling.
Good roll. Good roll.
Nice.
What do? You get down low.
Get down low at their level, put one hand out, like a good non-threatening manner. Maybe subtly try and sneak a little treat in my hand because that's what they're after.
Sure. You give a little treat, a little biscuit or something from your pack, and
That's right.
they looked like they were about to intensely. They recognized your scent, but yeah, this guy's pretty cool.
And I'll just say, these dogs, they smell. We just got some rations, and they must smell it on me.
Rufus, can you do me a favor? Can you give me a check?
I did 14.
Oh, good. You're fine, Rufus, but these dogs, when they bolted in, you thought they were going right for you. How does he react as they bolt past him and go to Laurent?
He's all standing on guard.
Canas, what are you doing?
I wanted to shake the Baron's hand and just say, pleasure to make your acquaintance.
He holds out his limp hand like this.
I hope you enjoy the Red Dragon Crush, courtesy of our visit to the Wizards of the Wines.
Oh, did you give that to him? Oh, that's right. Yes, he was drinking it.
To Irina. To give
Yes, we forgot to give you the.
No, he was
wine.
drinking it. He was drinking it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He says it would be lovely to have that vintage back here. And perhaps you have some catching up to do. We've made a good bargain.
Of course.
So
continue to make all well here in Vallaki.
All will be well. And Lydia says, all will be well.
Wait. Where should we meet you? At what time?
Ooh.
For what again?
The Baron. At the festival.
The festival's this afternoon at 3 p.m.
Yes, but should we come at 3 p.m.?
Certainly. You must come earlier.
Will you introduce us to the town? As your
Perhaps
new
we will.
associates?
What
Excellent.
a fine idea. Excellent work. Okay. Lydia's
Well,
like,
Baron, it was so good seeing you again, Lady Lydia.
yes,
Pleasure as always.
we'll see you soon. See you at the festival.
Simply
And-
cannot wait. Would you mind if we stay here in your gallery, or should we disperse?
I guess ta-ta for now.
Ta-ta for now. You exit, and you go back to home for the next few hours before the festival.
Rufus, you won't believe the things we just saw.
This place is totally fucked up.
So terrible.
We
So you're
need to
exiting-
get the-
you're-
we
you're
need
in
to get
the-
the hell out of Vallaki.
You're at the street, right? You got to the street at this point to have this conversation? Okay.
Yeah.
I was having it right in front of the Baron. I thought, sorry. Oh God.
On the way home, I would like to pass by the coffin maker's house.
Sure. There are guards stationed outside of it still.
Is there any? Are they? Or is it possible to sneak in?
I mean, they would see you, but I mean, you could perhaps try to go about a different way. I mean, I don't know. It's up to you.
Canas, maybe you could send your familiar in. See what's inside.
I think Yune's had enough excitement for the day. I will ask, but I don't know. Yune, you heard what Rufus said.
I'll do it if you need me to.
We must determine if is it Henrik? If the coffin maker is still there.
Why do we care about this coffin maker?
We don't want him to steal the bones again. We must get to the bottom of it. The Baron was oddly unconcerned with the orphanage torture chamber thing.
Yes.
There may be a plot.
Baron is wildly unconcerned with lots of things happening under his roof. I'm sure the orphanage is the least of his concerns.
I do feel that maybe we should have these discussions in the comfort of our own homes away from these guards.
Well, we're very close to the home. Let's go there now.
Actually, I guess if we're at the coffin makers.
It's very close.
We're right next door to our house.
Would we be able to see the coffin makers from our house?
Yes.
Probably not.
Probably.
Yes?
It's very
Like
close.
that old movie poster where like the kid just in the window with binoculars. That's us consistently watching the coffee maker's house.
So you keep an eye on
Maybe-
the coffin maker's house as you go back to your house. You can send Yune in essentially if you really want to. Would you want to do that?
I might prefer to do it when there are less eyes all over the place.
You could do it
Of
during
course,
the
Yune
festival.
is invisible. I don't know. That might be a great time to do it.
Perhaps
I'll tell.
during the festival, because nobody will be watching.
Yune, you are a genius.
I know.
Do
As
want
you
to hear
always have
something?
been.
Do you want to hear something interesting?
Do you want to hear something interesting? Who wants to go first? Also,
Baron.
where is Dione?
The Baron has a son. Did you know that? A 10-year-old son.
Oh, my
So funny.
Who would
goodness.
not have bought it, I believe.
We met him, in fact.
Yes.
Oh, how interesting. What is he like?
He
The
likes to
worst.
practice dark magic, and he was trying to pretend like he could kill us.
He has a dead cat that he keeps around as a pet.
And two
Really wanted to kill us.
and
In fact, for telling you, he might kill us.
actually, you're right. We didn't tell you any of this.
You're scared of a 10-year-old?
Well, when we opened the door to try to save Yune, that we were blasted by lightning that almost nearly killed me.
Well, that's not very safe. Any peasant could have got in there and opened the door. They have an open house policy.
Well,
I know. It's terrible.
That's
Uh,
Kid's a
horrible.
danger to himself and everyone around him.
next
Hence
time
the
you see a
light,
door
I
with a
guess.
skull on it that says all is not well, perhaps check for wards first.
So do you all
do not like
share
this
every
Baron.
piece of information? Is this you want to share everything, or is there things
Share
you're
everything,
hiding?
Yeah.
Everything,
Yes.
everything
We're
from
telling
Dione,
you
everything
Dione's
from
left the town.
Isak,
Isaac's room. Yeah,
The only-
everything.
I was gonna say the only thing I want to roleplay is Ezek's room.
okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Is Irina around?
Irina's
us
with
in
you,
the
yeah. She says, well, considering all of those terrible things that all happened throughout this meeting, I think it was actually rather successful. Don't you agree, Rufus?
Yeah, I would definitely agree.
well,
The Baron
there's
Give us money and
One-
supplies.
There is
Right.
one more thing that I feel may be of your concern, and
I don't think there's anything that will make me feel like that was not a success.
Funny
okay.
you should mention that because we found something in
Or-
Isaac's room.
Many things.
Many somethings in Isaac's room.
Remember that doll that we saw at Blinsky's that bore a certain resemblance to you, Irina?
Does she know about that? I forget.
We found a doll at Blinsky's a while ago that
Hmm.
bore
She
a
does know about
certain resemblance to you.
Yes, I was thinking about that. It kind of makes sense. They were probably trying to make the doll as pretty as possible.
She
Well,
blushes.
when Izek left the door unlocked to the room that he kept locked, that he ran out of,
Just before you guys came up, in fact.
yes, there were a lot more dolls,
Like a room full of dolls.
and they all looked like the one that we saw at Linsky's.
In
Like me?
Isaac's private quarters.
Isaac's private room. There
Mm.
was a room full of dolls.
Have you ever met Isaac before?
A room full of dolls that looked like Irina.
But Irina,
They-
you've
they-
never
hundreds of Irina dolls. It was very weird.
you've
I've
never met him
never-
before.
I've never met him. In fact, every time I've heard you talk about him, I always wondered what he must look like. I've never seen him.
He's
Well,
very ugly.
I can
Has a
only
horrible hand.
I can only assume one thing at this point. It is well known that Strahd fancies you, Irina. Is that correct?
I mean, to us, I don't know that that's well known throughout the lands.
Well, yes, to us it is known. I'm just trying to put the pieces together at this point. You told us, Rufus, that Isaac and his men were the ones that checked the orphanage thoroughly to look for this room, right?
Yes, well, not thoroughly enough, but yes.
Well, I'm sure thoroughly enough because Isaac probably is completely aware of this room and is keeping it a secret from the Baron, who seems to trust him. Now, if Isaac is aware of Irina and he's got this grotesque hand and he is not doing good work in Vallaki, I can only assume that he must be a minion of Strahd or a subject of his. If you connect the dots, that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
I concur.
I think that's a bit of a stretch of logic.
Why so?
Well, he's been here many years.
So is
And
Strahd.
Strahd has been here many more.
But Strahd has not been able to get into Vallaki.
But we don't know where
is that
Isaac has been.
so? It's not. Strahd can't get into Vallaki, and yet 6 other vampires in boxes can.
You think he could be involved with that plot?
I think.
would be
I think he
surprised
is
if he wasn't.
involved. He is involved in every plot, it
Mm-hmm.
seems. But again, coincidentally, Isaac, who has been seemingly a thorn in our side and was the one that conspired with Madame Fremere, couldn't find this room. You don't think that's a coincidence? The Baron could have sent anyone else that may have thoroughly checked it, but Isaac, who was probably aware of this room, probably sent his men in other directions in order to make sure it wasn't found out.
Well, the Baron didn't seem even interested when I told him of the room. I think he
Well,
could
that's
be involved
because
as well.
I think the Baron seems to blindly trust Isaac for some strange reason.
Irina is silent after hearing that the dolls all look like her. She's just like, I don't know how it's possible. I've never met him. I never met Blinsky. I guess she met him that day when you were all there, right? But she's like, I don't really know how it's possible. She says,
Seems
look,
to be having these dolls commissioned from Blinsky or something.
well, perhaps we'll see Blinsky at the festival today. We can ask him.
That
I think a conversation with Blinsky would be quite fruitful for us at this point.
I think you might need to be present at this conversation.
I plan on being there. Especially if
okay,
we're going to
there was-
be presented at the festival.
There was something else. We didn't get a chance to look, but there was a large wooden chest in Isaac's room.
Maybe more dolls?
It's possible.
Or something more nefarious.
I really want to get that man chained up so we can speak to him or something. Although with that hand, I'm not sure we'd be able to keep him in chains.
Well, I think we should go to this festival. And then get out of here, get Casimir, and be on our way.
I think that may be best.
We lingered too long here as this. We found the bones of the priest. They seem safe for the time being.
This village seems doomed, if you ask me.
We have done our job here. Might be worth leaving.
Irina
Sooner than
nods.
You said we were gonna. So are we home yet?
So you get to your cart, you get the kids. Camilla will you can fill her in on as much as you'd like. I don't know how much you want to share with her because, you know, she's not really part of the core group. So I don't know if you want to share any of this yet. But she'll ask you how it went. You know, you can share whatever you'd like. You let me know. But you'll head back to the house and you'll get there and get ready for the festivities.
I'd
Yeah.
like to take a short rest at the house. You said
Definitely.
it'd be a couple hours before the
Definitely
festival.
take a short
Yeah,
break.
All right,
definitely,
cool.
definitely do that.
Mhm.
And Mika, I just want to discuss with the group. When we get Casimir, we're going to drop. Is it Anna, Camilla's sister?
Yep.
Drop her off at the Dust Scouts. What are we going to do with Mika
Same.
if we're all going to go? We will drop him off too, yes.
Yeah. That was the plan. The little kids are going to go to the Dusk Elves, and Camilla, Irina, and Casimir would go with you to the Amber Temple.
We should pack. While you are resting, I'm going to write a note to Dione so she knows where we've gone.
Good
I'll
idea.
sit down.
And you sit down, you take out the parchment, your quill and ink, and you start to pen Dione, the D, the I, the O, the N, the N. As you do, we go to Dione.
Sorry, real quick. Tim, do I get a D6 for Song of Rest?
I don't think I have that as a feature, as a bard.
I thought it was auto.
Song of Rest. Nope, you're right. You absolutely do. Friendly creature hears performance, regains extra D6. Yep, go ahead.
Great.
Same for you, Rufus. Dione, you hear a moan come from somewhere else in the dungeon.
Oh. I'm kind of like loud whispering, hoping my voice doesn't carry up the stairs. Hello? Can you hear me?
Food. Water.
Oh. I assume I don't have my pack with me, right?
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry, I have nothing to give you. How long have you been here?
Oh, I don't know. Days. Maybe weeks. I don't know when it is.
Oh.
I'm fairly certain the other two are dead.
I have no way to tell. I can't reach them. I'm glad you're still alive. Why are you here?
He says, I made a mistake.
What
Made
kind
fun
of
of the
mistake?
Baron. Now I'm here.
What kind of mistake did you make?
I laughed. He said I did it out of spite. But I didn't.
I see.
I'm very badly hurt. I need a doctor.
Perhaps if we can find a way out of here, I have some friends who may be able to help you.
What is your name, sweet angel?
Oh, I don't know about all that, but my name is Dione. What is your name?
My name is Lars. Lars.
No.
I'm pretty sure it's Lars Kjurls. Kjurls. Exactly how you would have spelled it.
Lars Ulrich.
Lars Kjurls.
Yours.
The Baron has crippled me. I can't move.
Can't move at all. Completely.
As punishment, he bound me by the ankles and had one of his guards drag me behind his horse. For the amusement of it all.
Oh. The Baron is a very cruel man. The cruelty of a proud man can never be underestimated. I'm sorry this has happened to you.
If we ever get out of here, will you take me with you?
I will do my best. I will absolutely try my best.
He says, and if you ever go to one of the festivals, do not say anything against the Baron, or you'll end up like me.
Of course, this is a lesson that has been learned the hard way. But yes, all is well, eh?
You can hear him cough a little bit, and you hear him go into like a coughing fit, and then he starts to wheeze and gasp. And then you hear just like a curdling sound as he's
Jeez.
silenced.
Okay, so I'm gonna start like looking on my person to see if I have any bobby pins or anything at all, like anything securing my clothing that I might be able to use to try and pick the locks on
You
my
don't,
manacles.
unfortunately.
No.
No, they took all your stuff with you, from you. They've searched your body. But who knows how much longer now? It's dark in here. You don't see the moon, but you feel the moon, Dione.
Mhm.
It won't be long. And maybe that guy, if he's dead or if he's alive, whatever, him at least being passed out, may be best for everybody down here if you change.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna listen very carefully. Can I hear the sound of that man of Lars breathing, like even very faintly? Or
You do
has his
not.
breath?
You do not. You feel like you got a good, it's quiet down here. You can hear like a pin drop. Your
Mhm.
ears are pretty good. You don't hear anything.
Okay, all right. In that case, if I'm pretty sure I'm alone, I'm just gonna test the chains one last time and like throw my full weight against them.
Yeah, they're solid, but
Okay. Mhm.
never say never. Maybe not yet. And the
Well,
last
if
thing
they,
you. Sorry, go
Mhm.
ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if they seem pretty solid and there's no one left to help, then I'll just kind of like sit back and I'll settle and
Hmm.
stare out the window
There's no
and
window.
watch the shift. Oh, never mind. I will then just stare at the wall.
Yeah, this is pitch black. You can't see. There's some maybe like pillars or walls jutting out, so you couldn't see the other guy when you were talking to him, because your dark vision is pretty good. But there's no there is no light here.
Okay.
So the last thing that echoes through your mind are his words: "Don't say anything against the Baron." And we go to the festival. Everybody, the festival is, it's a beautiful day. The afternoon is going by under the threatening skies. You can see a parade of unhappy children dressed as flowers trudging through the muddy streets. It was rainy last night, so a lot of mud. They're leading the way for a group of sorry looking men and women carrying a 10-foot diameter wicker ball. The burgomaster, the Baron, and his smiling wife, who holds a sad bouquet of wilting flowers, follow the procession on horseback. You can see on a little miniature horse, like a, maybe not a pony, but what do they call those? Are they called miniature horses? They're not ponies, right? They're like there's a difference between
They're
them.
just called miniature horses, you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Is Victor? Yeah, there's a difference. Yeah, Victor, the Baron's son, also holding a sad bouquet. As weary spectators watch them from their stoops, the ball is borne into the town square where you're located. You're there watching along. It is hoisted and hung from a 15-foot high wooden scaffold, and townsfolk take turns moving up and splashing it with oil. One of the first to go and splash with oil is Gadolf Blinsky. He's got his little French hat on, and he goes over and splashes and moves along. You also see Vasily von Holtz eventually goes up and splashes some of his oil. He does look through the crowd and catches eyes with the group. He sees Irina, and he smiles at her. Irina gives him a glance as well and smiles back, and then immediately looks over and sees Rufus. What are you doing?
I'm there.
Are you looking at Irina, or are you looking at the scene of the people with the oil?
I'm looking at the doctor.
You're looking at the doctor, too. Okay, so she looks over and sees you looking at him and says, "We should also include in Vasily here and perhaps take him with us to the temple. If we're going to leave after the Feast of St. Andrew or tomorrow morning, he should prepare."
Well, of course. But maybe he would be better here to help the people.
Look, I don't know what was said by Henrik Vandervoort, but... And this is just to you, Rufus. I assume the two of you are kind of like standing
Yeah.
side by side. But I can't imagine trusting Henrik Vandervoort would be a good idea. The man stole the bones.
Yes, but the townsfolk may need healing while we're gone.
Oh. Well, I suppose you're right.
Anyway, look, there's Blinsky. Perhaps we can speak to him.
Yes, let's go. Canas, Laurent, should we go talk to Blinsky?
Yeah, I've got a lot of questions for him. A lot of questions.
Doesn't he appear to be part of the procession at this point? And maybe we should wait until the procession is done.
Yeah, you go do your oil as well. Everybody in the town has oil they're like supposed to splash onto the ball.
Ah, there we go. All right. After we finish this, then perhaps we can
While we're
have a
doing it,
conversation with this man.
working our way towards him through the crowd.
You splash your oil on, even Father Lucian goes in. He's got the priest classic, he knows how to spray some oil, right? So he's doing it.
I spray my oil on so hard it splatters everywhere. Very vigorously.
I point at the Baron. Hey, Baron, you suck. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Don't do it!
It looks like everybody's getting into position. Ezek and his men are moving through the crowds, pushing people out of the way. And they're saying that we're going to light this now. Get ready. And you go over and see Blinsky. You get behind him, and he doesn't see you approaching. As you get closer and closer, like you're able to maybe like grab him or touch him on the shoulder, get his attention, you can hear the sound of thunder crack and clouds overhead open up into a sudden downpour. All will be well, cries the burgomaster as he brandishes a sputtering torch and marches defiantly through the rain towards the wicker ball, only to have his torch go out as he thrusts it into the spear. Everyone is silent. He looks annoyed as hell. What do the two of you do? Or three of you do?
I repeat, all will be well.
I'll say the same after he does.
And the crowd starts to chant it as well. Give me, I'm going to give you an inspiration here, Canas. The chant goes through, all will be well, the murmurs, and then they start chanting, all will be well. And the Baron looks over to the group and smiles, thanking you almost for catching, him when he fell, essentially,
When he starts saying all be well, can I just see if I can see the little Baronet Victor's face and see if he has any visible reaction?
Oh, he looks disgusted. He looks like a typical,
Yeah, but no
kid.
more disgusted than a regular 12-year-old looks at any kind of event like this, or?
Yeah, about the same.
Okay.
Yeah. And he looks and says, we'll have to pause for the rain. He says, we will meet back here just at sunset. And Father Lucian speaks up and he goes, Baron, please, can this be perhaps done now? The Feast of St. Andrel is set for that time. The Baron looks towards his wife, Lydia, who's, like, horrified. And he's like, do you believe that we should let the feast take over this which protects this town? These festivals that keep the devil at bay?
I'm going to whisper to Canas and Laurent, do any of you have any fire spells to set this thing afire?
I only have a sacred flame, which is
Radiant.
Radiant. Yes, I only have radiant.
I have a hellish rebuke if somebody attacks me.
Just punch Canas in the face so he can do it. I only have heat metal.
I don't even have any light, but no torches or anything.
I also have a light spell.
Is there any other things that are on fire nearby?
It's heavy
I look
downpour
around.
right now, so no.
No. Okay, we see what happens.
I want to... No, I don't know. No, I can't do anything. I was thinking about having, like, Yune just dump my oil flask all over that torch to see if we could keep it lit.
Fair enough.
If it's already
But I don't
gone,
think so.
It's heavy downpour right now, and all the fire has gone out. Unfortunately for the Baron, he looks like he's at a loss. And he says to Ezek, he says, you know what? Yes, we will be keeping the schedule as I mentioned. sunset, dusk. The feast can take place afterwards if the people choose to go. Izek nods and takes Father Lucian kind of pushes him back into the crowd. Lydia looks a little concerned, but, she smiles at her husband. Yeah. And he says, everyone will reconvene here at dusk. The rain should pause. He looks up at the sky and he says, these people know a lot when the rain's coming. He's like, an hour or so, give or take. We'll be back here when everything's dry. We'll have the festival properly.
Is the crowd going to disperse? And if so, if we just tap Linsky on the shoulder?
Many people are going to start to disperse, but they're going to go slowly. They're going to wait for the Baron himself to leave.
Okay.
And as they do, you can tap Linsky.
We don't know his first name, right? We just know Linsky.
Gadoff.
Gadoff? Sorry?
Gadoff.
Gadoff. Tap on the shoulder and say, Mr. Belinsky, Gadoff, we met once. I was wondering if we could have a brief conversation with you.
Yes, we have met before.
So, we've actually...
I remember you all. You came to my shop. You bought some children's toys for your, what was it? 3-year-old?
Yes. Yeah, our ever-growing family, so to speak.
No, they grow up so fast.
Well, what can I do for you?
You see, we've been around town for a couple days now, and we've seen your work everywhere. I just had some questions on where you drew inspiration from as such a talented toy maker.
I get inspiration from everyday things.
Like people you meet.
Yeah, sometimes I do, yes. Well, you know what they say, if you'd like to buy something, is no fun, is no Blinsky.
I'm gonna butt in at this point. Blinsky, we saw a doll in your workshop that looks just like a Gwen here. I think you introduced her as Gwen previously. Why do you keep making dolls that look like my friend? Is that not a bit weird?
And Irina will remove her cloak and show her, in the rain, her face. And he looks at her and he's like, let's, why don't we talk inside? Somewhere private.
Out of the rain, yes.
When he sees Irina/Gwen, does he look nervous or excited or scared? Is there any kind of like a basic reading on what kind of emotion?
Give me a insight check.
Sure.
My dog has an insight check.
Just a 9. Probably not much coming out of that.
No, not much, but he does look like he's glancing around at the crowd dispersing as you're all talking, like he's a little embarrassed maybe. And he'll take you to his shop.
Good enough.
So you get into the shop, and you can see all the toys about, and he closes the door, closes the blind, there's shutters, and he says, I am so sorry. Please, I did not mean to offend.
Offend what? What are you talking about?
You, your friend. I am sorry. I just made those dolls for Izek.
Oh, Izek specified how they should look.
Yes, he said the description, and I went with it. I do not know who you are. I apologize. I did not mean to... Does he know you? You are a friend of his?
But did he say why he wanted them to look that particular way?
Of course not.
You've made many dolls for him.
Yes.
Many dolls. Many.
Is it not for... Did you not think that was a bit weird? He
well,
doesn't have any children.
Is not my prerogative to cast judgment on someone. He wanted to get dolls, and Blinsky makes dolls. He pays Blinsky good.
What about the Baron's son? Have you had any dealings or workings with him?
Victor.
No. I may make toys for him when he was a child, but for the Baron.
Well, how long have you been commissioned to make these dolls that look like our friend here?
Many years. Many years. I've made hundreds of dolls.
No, the specific dolls that look like
Yes,
her.
hundreds.
Hundreds.
Do you
And
have
he
any?
goes back to his workshop and he takes the one he's currently working on. It looks like Irina, but it's got no hair. And he's like, "See, look, look." He puts it right up to Irina's face, smacks the doll's face right up to her cheek.
Is this
looks
one
just like
also
her.
for? Izek?
Yes, this is the new one.
When will he be coming to pick it up?
This one is Malibu, Irina.
Wait, is it? Did he say the name of the doll was Irina?
No, he did not.
Okay.
Its job is beach, and it's so good at beach.
In fact, I might even ask him, does Izek give a name to these dolls?
No, he says he does not know who this is. Just a someone he wishes to see again.
When is Izek coming to pick up this next doll?
I don't know. I did not tell him it was done yet.
Well, it's not done. Doesn't have any hair.
Irina's like, I don't know. This one doesn't look like me.
Do you mind, Mr. Blinsky, if I talk to my compatriots for a brief second?
Go on, sure.
If we tell him to tell Izek to come here, this could be a good opportunity to get answers.
You mean go into Isaac's personal chambers?
I'm in question Izek himself, but that also works.
Let's
Well,
go
he-
now. We do not. Isaac looks like he's out and about.
Well, he's probably not going to be out and about. He's probably preparing for the festival, right? So he won't be. I mean, he's on duty, basically.
So he won't
So,
be
like,
in his
not
room.
in
He
the-
won't be in the
His room then, right?
the Burgermeister's mansion.
He'll be
We
out.
don't know.
Hmm.
Irina says we can't be late for the festival.
Well,
You have a couple hours.
how much time do we have?
She looks outside. It's still raining.
And
This might be a good time to go back to the Burgomaster's house and try Izek's room. At the very least, we can go in and say we're looking at the gallery, if he's there.
And perhaps Rufus, you could distract him with your great stories of the Gwaindire.
If not, I would love to distract Izek.
Oh no, it distract the. Well, actually, I guess there's no need to distract the Baron.
Is that the plan then? Are we going to go to Izek's and...
Well, perhaps it is rash.
Irina says, I am happy to check out his room, but I think it might be dangerous for me to be there if he recognizes me.
I think it's a little rash. And you've already been in the room. What could we find there anyway? We already know he has the dolls.
I want to know what's in that chest.
He does have
Probably
that chest.
Personal effects.
Rufus, I think you are deluding yourself if you don't think that this man is somehow related to what is happening here in Barovia.
You think he could be involved with the coffin maker?
He could be
Henry.
involved with a number of things. He could be the plague on Valaki and somehow have a hold over the Baron.
I think either his room bears further inspection or Izek himself should be questioned.
And not only that, Rufus, but all these dolls for years of Irina. We need to know what it is. How does he know her?
Well, let us go there. Knock on his door. If he's there, he'll answer. One of us can say that the doll is ready. No, that would be weird.
No, we could definitely do that. I could disguise myself to look like any commoner and say, Linsky, send me.
Yes, let's do that. I forgot your excellent ability.
All right. Where can you go to the map, by the way, Bob?
Let's see if I can bring that up here. The map. All right, Valaki map, and let's bring it up for our roll 20.
All right. So just because I know we're slightly concerned about getting back to the festival on time, where was the festival taking place versus where the Burgermeisters was?
The festival's taking place here in the center of town.
Okay, so we're pretty close.
You're close, yeah. And
No, we're
Blinsky's
right
Toy
next
Shop
to it.
is up here, I think, by the Blue Water Inn.
Okay. So I feel like we shouldn't be late if we go straight there. And
Might
we'll
not,
keep an eye
unless
on the
something
weather.
else happens.
We'll keep an eye on the weather.
Okay. As you're going through the town square there, you see some of the people are milling about. They're hiding under the overhangs of stores, and some people are getting under cover of a tree, or maybe perhaps they have umbrellas, and they're still milling about. Still quite a few townsfolk in the square, opting not to go home. And one of them approaches you. You see Lady Fiona Wachter in her Sunday best, and her butler,
no.
Ernst.
Yeah.
She says, Good
Well,
afternoon."
And
Lady
who might...
Foxer.
Ah, you've met? Oh, this is the lady you were talking about.
Yes.
Lady Foxer.
I looked down my nose at her.
She has a very different tone of her voice, affect, way she carries herself. You and Dione went to her house that night, right? Yeah. She says, "Laurent, such a pleasure to see you again. I feel that it was fate that we met the other night. Have you considered my offer?"
Lady Foxer, the pleasure is all mine. I have deeply considered your offer, and happy to oblige your generosity.
"Is that so? Well,
Yes, indeed.
there may be opportunity for that tonight. After the festival, after things die down, perhaps things will die down."
Of course, and I'll look up at the sky and I'll say, all will be well.
"Won't be long now," she says. "Just as the night falls, we shall have the Festival of the Blazing Sun. Shortly."
I simply cannot wait.
"And your associates, this is Rufus and Canas?"
But yeah, I apologize for being so rude. This is, of course, Rufus of the Gwaindire, the famous Gwaindire, and Canas of Canas.
Yes. A traveler, a wanderer.
I thought you were from Daggerfall.
I am not.
Yeah.
I just
where he
happened to be
was.
there.
She says, "Then your associates know of the deal as well?"
Yes, we've
We-
been
we
informed
do,
of
right?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Seems most unsavory, but
Oh,
us-
Stefano, I have completely forgotten about this deal.
tell
Canas,
us more about why you wanted us to kill Isaac.
Whoa, Ernst. Now, Canas, you've been staring at Ernst. He looks shockingly like the
Yeah.
caretaker at the orphanage.
Oh.
Almost in, I mean, he's not wearing the same clothes as the caretaker. He was wearing like overalls and, like would look like workers' clothes. He's wearing like a fancy suit. And he looks like he's more manicured than the other. But I mean, if not twins, certainly close relatives.
I don't know if I would say anything at this point.
Probably not. But that's what you noticed.
I mean, he's looking at me, right?
He's looking at all of
notices
you.
he notices my presence, and he's
Yeah.
not saying anything strange. So
No. But when Rufus says, "Why do you want us to kill Isaac?" Ernst steps forward and urges you to lower your voice.
No, I thought I was speaking quietly. I apologize, but can you give us more information about why he is not a good person?
She says, looks around at the festival, the big giant wicker ball that's slicked with oil. She looks out at all the people here, miserable, huddled out. "Need I say more?"
is Lady Doctor, is it possible that he is in league? I'm speaking very low at this point. With the devil himself.
She looks towards Laurent, confused, and she says, "As I've told your friend here, the devil is not the true threat. The Baron is. Notice how the devil has not been here. He's left us to our own devices. Certainly not a mistake."
So you think that the reason the devil does not meddle within the affairs of Vallaki is because they are already kowtowing to his bidding in Vallaki?
Oh no, I don't believe that the Baron wants anything to do with Strahd. But perhaps, she laughs a little bit. She's like, perhaps the Baron might need to have a meeting with the devil.
Perhaps one day, but our deal was just for Izek for now.
Correct.
We didn't make a deal. We discussed it, but that is not
Well,
what we do.
Nonetheless, Laurent will carry out the business. You need not worry.
And now I'll look at Ernst and I'll say, "Excuse me, sir, you look very familiar. Do you have a brother in town?"
He says, "Why, of course."
And is it the caretaker, Brodimir?
You must know him well.
I have met him. What is your relationship with your brother? Just out of curiosity.
Lady Wachter jumps in and says, "This is all fine, but this conversation is over. We'll see you soon at the festival. Come, Ernst." And he'll just kind of look down at his nose at you and follow Lady Wachter. He's got an umbrella. He's holding it over her head. He's getting soaked. She's not.
Well,
Now-
that was strange.
Yeah.
She makes me like Isaac more, I have to say.
You haven't seen his room yet.
Can I just say something? How great is this game? Like, it's freaking insane. Like, there are so many characters. None of them seem good. None of them seem worse than the other sometimes. It's like there's just so many things up in the air, balls juggling in the air.
Look, if we went to Lady Vachter's house and she had a doll with a bunch of, like, Rufuses, I would also be concerned, but right now, Izek is my bigger fish to fry.
Well, we just need to, in my opinion, Lauren, we just need to get out of here. We've been here long enough.
Right now, the only person I trust is Irina, and the two people that I'm with, I'm not sure if it's Irina, then Dione.
Camilla, by the way, is not a part of this. She's taking care of the kids. Remember, she's like your babysitter. She's back at the house with the kids. So Irina says, "I'm going to, while you go to Ezek's room, it might be best that I don't accompany you. I'm going to go see what Vasily's doing. I think it's good to keep him in the loop. I will keep some of our conversations secret." And she looks to Rufus like, "You've had this conversation. Maybe no, not to trust Vasily with everything." But she's going to...
I would keep all of the information amongst the four of us until we are ready to fully trust everyone else that we have met along the way. Camilla included. Perhaps we shouldn't have her in the loop of all the information as well.
We can fill it in when we leave the village. The town.
Understood.
But do not be late for the festival, remember. Well, I guess
No.
everyone has to go, so.
I won't be late.
At least 30 minutes before dusk.
Yes, I'll be here. Good luck. And she'll put her hood up and head out into the rain. The rest of you start to head towards the Burgomaster's mansion. The mansion is open. There are guards there, but again, it's open door policy. So you can go in. The guards let you in. But they'll tell you the Baron is not here right now. He has not come back with his retinue. They're somewhere close to the festival.
With Ezek, I presume.
They believe so.
Well, we just wanted to see the gallery. I did not get a chance to truly view the paintings.
I've been telling him the impressionism is phenomenal, but the pointillism leaves something to be desired.
The guard is like, listen, if you want to get out of the rain, I get it. You don't have to make up excuses. You can go in. It's permitted to the public. Just, you have about, I don't know, half an hour before the festival's going to start. Rain's starting to let up, and it's getting dark.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your kindness. We'll be less than half an hour. Promise.
All right. So the guards stand back at their attention at the door, and you enter in. You climb up the stairs. You see some workers moving about. You go up to Ezek's door. It's locked.
Of course.
If only you had Dione.
What kind of a lock is it?
Looks like a key would open it up. He had a ring of keys that he took out and opened it.
Does anyone have lockpick tools?
Dione.
Yeah, I was gonna say anyone besides Dione.
Oh, we only have two choices. Choice one. We break the lock.
I am not going to become a spider and go into this room by myself.
Well, choice two is out.
I just kicked the door.
You kick it.
Mhm.
You hear
I try and barge it open.
You hear a loud thud. Give me an athletics check. See if you can break it open. It's pretty fortified. You need a 20 to get it.
Can I cast guidance
Sure.
on him? You get a plus D6 stat.
D4.
I think it.
23 plus D4.
Oh, Jesus.
Well,
I'm pretty
okay.
strong.
You kick the door open after some contemplation, and I think
26.
Rufus has just had it with this place, so he kicks the door open.
I'm not in a good mood.
No.
Clearly.
We're wondering what's happening at Vasili's, you have to say.
Let's see here. Dione. Dione, the door opens. Can you imagine if Rufus is standing there? It'd be so funny.
I brace myself. I
But
don't know
the-
who's about to come down. I assume music.
Right. It's not Ezek. It's a guard, and he comes down. He's brought like the most meager meal on a plate. Like it's like a half a piece of bread. You can see like there's bits of tiny bits of cheese, and it looks like there's even like mold growing on the bread and like some wiggly worms on it. And he drops it off. You can see his lantern light there. And he drops it close to you. And he goes over and checks the other people, and he goes, "Ah, no. This one's dead." Picks up the body there. You can see a ring of keys on him. Gets the keys to the manacles, unlocks them, and starts to drag the body beyond you.
Are both his hands occupied with the
Yeah, they're
body?
pulling the guy's like legs.
Okay. Then as he's like leaving, I assume he's distracted and he's looking at the door. Would I be able to cast Mage Hand?
Yes, you could.
The old flare trick.
The old flare.
Yes. All right, cool. Yeah, it's a range of 30 feet, so I assume I can, like, it's probably not that huge of a dungeon.
So the benefit of everything here is because you're a arcane trickster, you have legerdemain mage hand, so you can do it, and it's an invisible hand, and it can do it at much longer distances. So even though he's not coming within grasp of you, you can reach it from the other side of the room.
Nice. All right. So
Give me a sleight of hand check. See if you can take it from his pocket.
Sure.
Any
Oh.
cha-
I don't see it.
Oh.
Nat
There it is.
20. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna wait until like his body language says that he feels confident that he's gonna walk out of this room. Nothing has happened here. Like he's very like relaxed. And then that's when I make my move. I'm just gonna
Yep, so he actually will sling the body over his shoulder to take it up the steps. And at this point, he's totally preoccupied, and you floop, floated across the room silently towards you as he goes up and closes the door behind him. So, you go up. You hear the pounding up the steps too, because he's going up the steps, and the ring of keys comes to you. You find the one for your manacles if you'd like to.
You know what? Why not? I'm the only person alive in this dungeon anyway.
Sure.
So, yeah, sure. All right. I'll open up my manacles.
Sure. You go upstairs, and you see the guard carrying the body, and he's talking to another guard at the door. And the door's open. You can see it's raining outside. It's close to dusk. It's a big... You've been in this place before. It's an opulent mansion. You can see the foyer, and the exit, Freedom, is right ahead of you. Just past those two guards.
Okay. Let's see. If I like look around, is there furniture, something where I could like give it an invisible nudge and have it clank and
Yeah,
clatter?
there's like a portrait, a painting or something you can drop to the floor. Sure.
Sweet. Yeah. So I'll just like nudge the painting so it falls to the floor in a dramatic fashion. And hopefully they would look over and be like, "What happened?"
Right.
And then in that moment, I'll just try to like
The
quickly
frame
run out.
cracks on the ground, and shatters whatever glass or what covering it had, and the guards look behind. The other guy drops the dead body on the floor, and then he'll look and he goes, "What? What then?" The portrait fell. It's on the other side of the foyer, so he starts to walk, and he goes to like pick up the pieces. Rufus, you kicked in the door. You see the room that I described before, all the dolls literally everywhere. What do you do?
Is there anybody there?
Nobody's in here. It's empty. The door
Let's
now
go in
hangs
for it.
on its hinges.
Let's go in, friends. They go in, and I'll like prop the door so it doesn't look quite as destroyed.
Sure. You go in the room and start to prop up the door. Everybody else enters in, and you see what I described to you before, just literally dolls everywhere. But there is, like you said, a trunk.
We'll go straight to the trunk then.
You open up the trunk. It does require a key, though, but you can break the lock on it if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do that.
You open up the trunk, and inside you can see a heap of wrinkled clothes. You pick those up, and underneath you can see a short sword.
Does the short sword look familiar, or like
You pick it up,
does it
Laurent,
bear
and
recognition
it's...
to any of us? Or
No, but it looks like it's made of silver.
Oh,
let's take it.
Yeah.
You find wine bottles as well. Each one bears the name of the Wizard of the Wines winery, and they're all purple grape mash number 3.
Emptied or full?
They are full.
What?
Yep. You notice now that, too, underneath the bed, or the side of the bed, there are empty bottles. So it looks like this is a stash.
He's hitting the huge hard. Okay.
And to find the dolls everywhere. The dolls stitched into the clothing. You can see the tags that read, "Is no fun, is no Blinsky." But maybe what's most disturbing in the trunk, Rufus, is you find a sketchbook. Inside the sketchbook, you can see it's just page after page of Irina, portraits of her. Portraits of her, like it's like a face, just her face. Others of her in motion. Others of her moving about, wearing fancy gowns and going to balls. You notice each of these is kind of like the dolls that he's created.
Does she look the same age in all these pictures?
No. Some of them are her as
Like
a
how-
child.
yeah. Okay, there it is.
what do you mean there it is, Canas?
That's the worst part of the whole thing. I told you he has to die. This is why he has to die. Look at this. This is it, right here. Even without the doctors, this would be evidence enough that we need to kill this guy.
But it's just pictures of Irina.
Isn't that a bit strange to you?
Doesn't make any sense.
Rufus, this is the strangest that you've ever acted since I've met you.
It's strange. Why? I didn't
Strange
like the
that
man
he's
either,
got
but
a
pretty
sketchbook
strange.
full of portraits of someone he's never met.
Certainly someone she's never met.
This feels like
she
certainly Strahd's handiwork.
I don't know what to make of it. Maybe she has a doppelganger.
Perhaps she has a stalker.
Rufus, just yesterday you were telling me that you think Dione is a werewolf, and you don't think this is at all suspicious.
It is suspicious. I don't know what to say.
You hear a loud crash from down the stairs.
Let's get out of here.
I put the sketchbook back and the wine back.
Keep the sword.
Yeah,
Dione.
who wants to keep the silver short sword?
I
Sure.
almost want to break the wine bottles.
That's valuable wine.
I don't believe in wanton destruction, Canas.
Dione, you're approaching the door. There's only one guard now, and he's preoccupied. He's looking back towards his friend at the other end of the foyer. You're sneaking up behind him to kind of escape, and you feel your stomach wrench. You know this feeling. You look outside, and you can see the clouds have cleared. The rain has stopped. The night sky is about to take hold, and there it is. A glimpse of the full moon. Do you want to describe what happens to you?
Sure. Okay. So I'm making a break for it. I'm running towards the door. I see freedom right there. And as the first beam of moonlight hits me, suddenly my skin starts to ripple and my skeleton starts to almost, it looks like it almost folds in on itself. Joints start to bend the wrong way. And my my hair, which is normally like voluminous, but from specific parts, it almost seems to like spread and it starts to cover the rest of my boulder-like form. And my boulder-like form, it's still mostly boulder-like. It just becomes a little bit more elongated, like kind of like a short sausage almost. So boulder to sausage is the evolution here. And my face, it liquefies, it melts, it elongates into a snout, and I grin. I grin as I look at this guard that I'm now barreling towards on all fours, but my grin, it just like grows and it grows and it gets wider and wider, and my fangs, just like my teeth turn into fangs that elongate and like extend past my lip. I look at him with these red glowing eyes, grinning with a mouthful of fangs. And I'm just like sprinting towards him now, full on like canine form. And I dare him to stay where he is or get out of the way and let me be free.
He catches wind of this just as you leap into the air, and he turns and you just hear a muffled scream as you grasp his hand and your new power and strength overtakes him. The three of you pack up their stuff. You put the door back on its hinge as best as possible, but it's clear somebody broke in here. You gather your things. Did anybody take the pictures or no?
No.
Taking
Sketchbook
the
saved,
sword?
we got the sword.
Sword.
We took the
Sword
sword.
we've got.
You rush downstairs to, get back to the festival on time. And, you assume that the guards would be there and greeting you. But you see what looks like a massacre down below. 2 guards' bodies lying limp and ragged. There's blood staining the ground before them. The walls are splattered with blood. It looks as though they have been mangled. Almost like the scene of the tiger that night when the Wachter brothers were dying there on the ground. These guards are dead. And that is where we're going to end it for tonight.
Wait,
Are you admitting it's a were-tiger?
Canas says... Normally this would be shocking, but I suppose we're used to this by now.
It's Ezek. This is obviously the work of Ezek.
Oh boy, guys, you
Or
got to get
that
to a
kid.
festival. You got to get to a festival. There's no time to clean up this crime scene here.
It's not our problem.
We're gonna have to figure this out next time though, because what a session we're gonna have next week. We're probably gonna have our good friend Jordan be joining us soon. Jordan from Flutes Loot.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly when. Maybe next week. Maybe not. We'll figure it out. But regardless, stay tuned for updates. Thank you for watching for us on YouTube. You were a lively chat tonight. Thank you again for everything. And if you want to check out the guide or the house rules, things like that, the children's guide, anything like that, check down below in the description. Also, if you want to become a patron or find ways to support the channel, they're down below as well. Thank you to our players, Tim, Andrew, Stefano, Michelle, all of you. Phenomenal job tonight. Like, absolutely one of my favorite role-playing sessions. You guys did great. And how messed up is this place? Let's find out more next week.
God.
We'll see you all on the tabletop. Good night.